feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no
Now, while I'm at it, we're going to keep pocket watching for a bit. Business Insider did something on Floyd Mayweather, and they exposed the shit out of Floyd Mayweather. Oh, my God. Business Insider, I don't know who's paying them off or whatever. Maybe it's 50 or somebody who don't like Floyd, but they did a hit piece on Floyd Mayweather. Check this out. It said it was a typical scene for anyone familiar with the luxurious life that Floyd Mayweather flaunts on social media. The 40-year-old boxing champion sitting in a cabin of a private jet counting out a heap of $100 bills, talking about the envy that gets directed at him. Continue to hate, he said in a September video as he piled the stacks of cash in a clear plastic bag. You know, people only talk about winners. I'm a winner, so they continue to talk. Okay? Let me see. Do we have that video? All right, don't like we don't. Money Mayweather, as he calls himself, was indeed a winner in the ring. Ended his pro career in 2017 with a 15-0 record. He scored more than $1 billion in paydays for boxing, making him the 10th highest paid athlete of all time, according to sports business outlet Sportico. Since his retirement, he's fashioned himself as a business mogul who success keeps him in Bugatti cars, Richard Mille watches, Gucci clothing, and opulent mansions. I'm financially set. I want to let everybody know this, he said in 2021. Every property I have is paid for. My jet, paid for. All my cars are paid for. I own $1 billion buildings. Everything is no longer paid for. They're exposing him if you don't know. Mayweather took out millions of dollars in mortgages on his homes last year. A Business Insider review shows he also faced a string of lawsuits and liens that say he owes money for a Mercedes Maybach G-Wagon. Wait, they make Maybach G-Wagons? What the fuck? Jet fuel, which obviously is for his jet, and garbage collection at his Las Vegas mansion. So it looks like they've pulled all his debt. At the same time, he's trumpeted a major entry into the big league. Commercialized real estate. Starting in the fall of 2024, Mayweather talked about spending blitz on commercial property in New York through his newly formed real estate firm. Splashy moves that earned him a featured spot at the prominent real estate conference with a session titled Real Estate Knockout, the Floyd Mayweather Strategy. Give me one second. The Floyd Mayweather Strategy. The big talk doesn't always end in big deals, though. Business Insider found. Chat, they're exposing him. Mayweather's social media last year promoted an article that he reported that he made $100 million in his portfolio of a Manhattan luxury high-rise apartment towers owned by Go Partners. People with knowledge of this investment said Mayweather put a nominal sum late last year and did not invest further, and his initial equity in the deal was later absorbed by the Go Partners, leaving him with no stake. The portfolio of the buildings was eventually spun off into publicly traded entity. In February, Mayweather also said he bought a portfolio in a rent-regulated apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan for $402 million, declaring that all the buildings belong to me. I don't got no partners. Business Insider previously reported that there were no property records showing an outright or majority sale. Meanwhile, in the last 18 months, 2 of Mayweather commercial properties have been foreclosed, and he's at risk of losing his Las Vegas business or building that houses his strip club, the Girl Collection, over $52,000 in back property taxes and penalties. He's also been accused in lawsuits of failing to pay for millions of dollars in luxury items, including watches and high-end jewelry, allegations he has disputed. Mayweather has been pursued by creditors over Air Mayweather, which is his plane, the Gulfstream jet that's been the symbol of his mega wealth. In December, FAA records showed that he had sold the plane, and he sold mansions in Beverly Hills and Miami to 2 of his real estate partners. Business Insider reviewed hundreds of pages of public records, interviewed dozens of current and former friends and business associates of Mayweather finances and his team, which includes a convicted felon who has been named in several lawsuits against the boxer. He doesn't seem to have the guardrails that were in place. Mark Trados, a Las Vegas attorney who represented Mayweather during his professional fighting career in various business and legal matters, told the Business Insider. When you've got professionals that are doing the right thing for you, you're a little bit better protected. When you're out there on your own, your protection is dropped. Mayweather's lawyer, Bobby Samini, said Mayweather is not experienced in financial strain and works with a team of seasoned professionals. Mayweather rose from poverty and became the greatest champion in boxing history, transforming his talent and discipline into an undefeated legacy in a highly successful business empire. Creating unfounded narratives misrepresents the truths. So this is one of Mayweather's people talking. and minimizes his achievements, which is achievements of an individual who has risen from adversity to becoming one of the most successful athletes and entrepreneurs of his generation. Mayweather said that he has embarked on a road to mega wealth in 2007, a decade into his professional fighting career, where he bought himself out of his contract with the promoter and founded his own company called Mayweather Promotions. The arrangement allowed him to cut out the middleman and negotiate larger proceeds from the pay-per-view ticket, food and beverage sales. He dished his original name, Pretty Boy Floyd, and christened himself Money Mayweather. In the ring, his defensive technique and lightning counterpunching made him a winner, even if it deprived fans of the drama of a ferocious knockout. He embraced the role of the villain audiences wanted to see bloodied, which enhanced his bankability. There can't be two good guys, he said, leading up to a 2007 fight against Oscar De La Hoya. I chose to be the bad guy. Showing off his enormous payouts and Playboy lifestyle were part of the provocation. He enjoys, or he understood the dynamics of entertainment, says Derek Poindexter, a boxing promoter. People just tuned in to see him get his ass whooped. As the earnings flowed in, Mayweather kept his fortune where he could see it: bricks of cash, high-end cars, real estate in Los Angeles, Miami, and his home base in Las Vegas that he owned debt-free. He liked the tangible element of having cash in his hand, watching it come and go, said David Levi, who worked close with Mayweather from 2010 until his last professional fight. Dave Hall, Mayweather's accountant in early 2000, said Mayweather spent heavily without setting aside enough to pay his taxes. In 2017, he paid the IRS $22 million in back taxes, records show. In 2023, he settled with the IRS to pay $5.5 million in back taxes and another $1.1 in penalties, according to a settlement filed in U.S. Tax Court. The core group around Mayweather began to break up once he left the ring. He parted way with Al Heyman, his legendary boxing manager from the early 2000s, until Mayweather's retirement, and Leonard Ellerbe, the longtime CEO of Mayweather Promotions. His uncle and longtime trainer, Roger Mayweather, died in 2020. Mayweather has said that his father, Floyd Sr., and also former professional boxer, suffers from dementia. A more recent key figure in Mayweather's life is Jonah Reschnitz, the scion of a well-connected Los Angeles family who gained notoriety for his role as a government informant following his 2016 guilty plea in a sweeping New York City corruption case. Reschnitz testified in a federal court that he had delivered a Ferragamo handbag stuffed with $60,000 in cash to a powerful union boss in exchange for a $20 million investment in a hedge fund, which then lost $19 million of it. He's scheduled to be resentenced in January. After the scandal, he returned to LA to reinvent himself as a jeweler to the stars, including Kim K and Shaq. Multiple jewelers and other creditors hit Reschnitz and his jewelry business with lawsuits that accused him of failing to pay or repay loans or pay for jewelry. Most of these cases were settled. 3 ended in judgments against Reschnitz, including one for $17.7 million awarded by an LA court in 2023. He's appealing that decision. His relationship with Mayweather, who was a jewelry client, flourished, and Mayweather credited him as an architect in his post-boxing success. He says, when your career is over, you got to make smart decisions. He said, but a close friend of mine, Jonah Reschnitz, he's a great guy, great person, helped me a lot. The two frequently traveled together, including a trip to Israel after the October 7th attacks, where they were pictured with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Closer to home, they attended NBA games, and Reschnitz was seen sporting a baseball cap with the TMT logo, the Money Team, which is Mayweather's apparel brand, and the nickname for his posse of friends and bodyguards and close associates. As his influence grew, so have Mayweather's real estate ambitions. By Mayweather's account, his foray into commercial property and investing began more than a decade ago when he met 2 New York City real estate executives courtside as a Knicks game. In a meeting the next day, one of the executive, Jeff Sutton, enchanted the boxer by explaining that while he earned staggering sums of money during his fights, give me 1 second. Okay. During his fights, real estate generates profits as investors sleep. Mayweather said that he began investing as soon after pouring $5 million into a deal that paid him over $50,000 a month in proceeds, and which is an impressive 12% return. Since late last year, there's been headlines about bigger deals, including Gold Partner Venture. Last December, he said he had purchased a building in New York's Diamond District for about $20 million as his gift to his then 3-year-old grandson. I think that's a young boy's kid. Property records show that a company tied to a jeweler, Avi Davidovid, bought the building in June 2025 from his longtime owner, and he declined to comment. In the months leading up to the real estate announcement, he began to free up a bunch of cash against his personal real estate portfolio and his jet, which he's since sold. So he sold his jet. In 2024, Rushnes introduced Mayweather to Don Hankey, a billionaire specialty lender in Los Angeles. He rose to prominence in the lending business by providing car loans to buyers with poor credit. He's best known for posting a $175 million bond for President Trump. Over the next year, Mayweather borrowed $54 million from him at roughly a 9% rate to fund other ventures. His lawyer told Business Insider he used as collateral 14 residential homes, his Las Vegas strip club, and his jet, according to him, for this loan. This is the billionaire Don Hackney that Mayweather borrowed $54 million from. In a loan, according to his deal, a portion of the debt was cross-collateralized, which means it was taken across a collection of Mayweather's assets rather than small loans tied to individual properties. The structure is inherently more risky since in the event of a default, the borrowers could lose multiple properties at once rather than one asset at a time. Hankey said that working with Mayweather gave him some insight into the boxer's finances and his wealth. He said, for instance, it appeared largely anchored in the value of his personal homes. When he searched Mayweather's credit history, not much showed up. He says, I think some people buy stocks, some people buy bonds and put their money into a bank, and I think he puts his money into houses. Before he came to us, I don't think he tried to borrow very much. Samini, who's Mayweather's lawyer, said that Mayweather had been an ideal client for Hankey. Like many other sophisticated business people, he borrowed against substantial equity in his portfolio to fund other ventures. In February, a Las Vegas commercial building that Mayweather bought for $3.6 million was sold at an auction to his previous owner. This summer, 2 condos that he owned at the Trump Las Vegas residences were seized by Clark County for unpaid property taxes. They were then returned to Mayweather after he made the $21,000 payment. Last month, a $568 lien was put on his mansion for unpaid trash collection. A Texas aviation fuel supplier sued Mayweather companies in June over what they said was $137,000 in unpaid bills, which is jet fuel for his jet. FAA records showed that a lien was placed on the aircraft for another $358,000 for maintenance work. That same month, A.J. Ramey, which is Mayweather's former pilot, complained that on social media that the boxer had trashed my reputation and relationships by never paying his jet debts. Mayweather has since settled his maintenance bill and the lien that was removed in August. He didn't respond to the jet fuel lawsuit, and in October, a default judgment was awarded in favor of the jet fuel company. The FAA has not released specific details about the sale of the jet, such as the name of the buyer or the price. Ramey says that he still owed money for his work as Mayweather's pilot. Mayweather harped on loyalty, hard work, determination, doing business the right way, to be betrayed and watch it dwindle, and have someone who had profound impact on you in a good way turn around and burn you like that. I'm still working through it. Samini, which is Mayweather's guy, denied that Ramey's owed money or that it was betrayed. In 2023, a Los Angeles court awarded a Nigerian media company $2.4 million judgment on a claim that Mayweather was paid $210,000 for appearances in Africa they never made. He has denied the allegation, and his appeal was denied. The judgment is not paid, and it's swelled to almost $3 million with default interest, according to an attorney for the Nigerian firm. Rushnes, which is a recurring character in some of these lawsuits brought against Mayweather in the recent years. In 2024, for example, Leonard Solmanov, a high-end jeweler in Miami, filed a lawsuit accusing Mayweather of stiffing him on a $3.9 million bill for various jewelry and watches, including a Patek Philippe 5980 and a 2 Richard Mille's 3502s. Solmanov said in the lawsuit that Rushnes, though not named as a defendant, set up the meetings where the jewelry was shown. Mayweather never filed a response, and the case was settled out of court. In September, a Las Vegas car dealership sued Mayweather, accusing him of leaving his lot with a $1.2 million Mercedes Maybach G-Wagon and never paying for it. Rushnes asked for more time. The lawsuit said that Mayweather ultimately signed a legal document promising to settle the bill. He then was sued. He sued the dealership for fraud, alleging that he'd been sold a bad car. Both cases are still pending. Business Insider found 3 cases where Mayweather and Rushnes have together been accused of fraud and misrepresentation, including promoting a cryptocurrency and alleged pump and dump scheme and allegedly defrauding an investor through a ticket resale operation. In each of these lawsuits, Rushnes, who's identified the person allegedly facilitating these deals, Rushnes and Mayweather have denied wrongdoing together. In the third case, Jason Weiner and Rushnes, Mayweather and someone else, the CEO of the property, investment property, accused them of hawking access to celebrities, including Elon Musk, and failing to deliver. Wow. He endorsed several cryptocurrencies. One deal resulted in $600,000 settlement loss with the SEC. Oh, he had to settle for $600,000. Another sparked an investor lawsuit. Boxing and fitness, a retail gym chain modeled in his routines. It was sold in August. It was previously reported that more than half of the boxing and fitness studios, which once boasted 70 locations, have shut down. And a group of 4 franchises have sued Mayweather and company executives for allegedly making false and misleading statements about the business. Allegations Mayweather denied. His bigger post-retirement paychecks have come from a string of multi-million-dollar exhibition fights, including against Logan Paul and John Gotti. In September, it was announced that next year he will be fighting former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, who's 59, in an exhibition boxing match. Mayweather's take was totally on brand. I fear no man but God, he wrote on Instagram. Let's get it. Note, Floyd Mayweather has filed a defamation lawsuit against Business Insider in connection with a previous story about Mayweather's real estate investments. The case is pending, but Business Insider stands by its reporting. Interesting. You know what I think? I don't think Mayweather's necessarily going broke. I think he doesn't have business managers and he's bad with business. Most of these bills, it looks like he could cover. Like, yo, there's a $500 lien. Like, bro, that's just you forgetting to pay a bill, bro. You get what I'm saying? Some of these things, when it came time to when they seized his property and he owed $21,000, he clearly paid it. You know? So it's not like he can't afford these things. It's that he's been negligent in being on time and being responsible. Same thing for the jet fuel. He uses his jet, but he doesn't want to pay for it. Now, here's the thing. Where I do see some intricate business, and I don't want to call it bad business because I think it would take someone who's an accountant or a financial expert to really break down, is that he's doing a lot of cross-collateralization, and he's using, from one guy, he borrowed $54 million, which was debt. Now, the reason I'm not going to call Mayweather broke is that the most successful people in this country's history have always increased their wealth by leveraging debt and leveraging positions, whether in the stock market or otherwise. They have not used actual cash. So I'm not going to hold Mayweather to a standard that said he has to use his cash that he's earned in his career to make more money. Most people in America have leveraged debt to make more money. They leverage debt for, credit lines, to buy houses or buy properties, to, for mortgages, and that will give a return over time. So I just can't, without the full financials in front of me, call him broke. I could call him, it seems like he doesn't have any type of, he's not responsible. That's for sure. But to say he's broke like he doesn't have it, I don't know if we can say that. But that's my opinion. You can have yours. Okay. All right. Perfect. If you guys believe it, you guys let me know. By the way, I do got to take this. So I think there was a quick YouTube video on this. Here we go. Business Insider sue Floyd Mayweather. I don't think they talked about it much.